Hey everyone, welcome to the YouTube video that accompanies the newsletter Beyond the Basics. So let's just review for those of you who may just be clicking right to this video and not have read the newsletter. The newsletter is really about content and delivery in service of supporting confidence in public speaking. Specifically, one of the reasons why we either fear or feel a lack of confidence around public speaking is because we place a tremendous amount of emphasis on not only what we say, but feeling a need to say everything, to put all of the information into any statement when someone asks us to talk about what we're doing, to walk us through a vision, to sort of talk about a project that we have, etc. So, for example, I work with a lot of scientists. I work a lot with technologists. I work a lot with people in the medical field, lawyers, etc. And there's a lot of data. There's a lot of case studies and outcomes and references, research that needs to be incorporated. And so they're so focused on incorporating all of the research that they forget to ground the research in a central, singular, and cohesive idea. So now there's a responsibility to say all the things. So when you get up to speak in front of somebody, you're now focused on remembering all the things versus connecting to something central and then being able to connect to your audience more deeply as a result. That's where the comfort lives, in the connection to your audience. That is something that may feel counterintuitive, to kind of take your mind's eye off of the what and put it on connecting to the who. But that's really where you will stand to have the greatest level of success and comfort in the process of public speaking. The other thing that brings fear to public speaking, beyond trying to remember everything and put in all the content, is then ultimately, not only do we feel a responsibility to give all the information versus communicate a single idea, right? Two different things. Then we no longer place our emphasis on how we're speaking. We just place the emphasis on what we're saying. So another fear that people have is that the audience won't pay attention, that the audience will judge them, that they won't do a good job. And so a good job usually means getting all the information but a good job ultimately means having your audience feel connected, pay attention, and get something meaningful out of it. Not only will that come through honing in on a singular idea, that will come through the way in which you deliver that singular idea. So the less you keep yourself in your head and the more you can connect yourself to your heart and bring yourself into your body in the delivery of your content, it will not only make you feel more at ease, it will make your audience feel more engaged, and it will allow you to actually do a good job at the end of the day. So I mentioned two key resources in the newsletter, and I'll reinforce them here. One of them is How to Speak Like a Leader. It's a free webinar, totally free. It's on my website, which is all about the how. How do I express through voice, body, and gesture, leveraging tone as a powerful tool for influence. So I always use the phrase, I want a pickle. So this is just a little insight. So if I use the phrase, I want a pickle, and I just say it flat, I want a pickle. Well, now I can shift my tone and thereby shift the meaning. I want a pickle. I want a pickle. I want a pickle. I want a pickle. The words don't matter so much as the tone. And the more that I shift the tone, the more not only am I contributing a point of view to let my audience know what to feel or think about what it is that I'm saying, but by shifting the tone, it will continuously keep my audience's ear engaged. So I will be an active communicator and they will be challenged to remain active listeners. So that's a huge piece of the how and keeping your audience engaged. Now, when it comes to the what, not overwhelming your audience with content, but rather delivering a singular idea with a number of different ideas that support that singular idea. The other resource that's mentioned in the newsletter is my Signature Talk framework. We have created a digital course that is an evergreen resource for you. So it is our first ever Buy It Now product where I walk you through all the different aspects of the Signature Talk framework. The key component of this framework is that it is all designed around something called the anchor statement and is specifically designed to be improvisational and adaptable. We leverage data and stories within the framework in a way that supports illuminating the anchor statement without feeling like we will overwhelm our audience, because it allows us to calibrate what we're including and why. So every single thing that we choose to include is connected to a singular purpose. That will allow us to feel like the content is manageable. It will also allow our audience to connect to it because it will feel like something that is constantly reinforced. So the retention of what it is you're saying, the likelihood of that will be higher. That's a lot of information. So focusing on the how you say, so really bringing in those different levels of tone, vocal variety to keep yourself alive and engaged. By putting your attention there, it'll take your attention off doing a good job and being judged by the audience, and then making sure the content that you include feels purposeful, intentional, and connected to something singular. All of those will support your audience to feel more engaged and relieve you of the responsibility to do a good job, which is oftentimes connected to perfectionism and locked in your head. And rather than do a good job, it will be about being connected and authentic and intentional. Good job you cannot control. How you go about showing up with presence and purpose, that you can control. So put your attention there. It feels scary. It's definitely more vulnerable, but ultimately it will be easier and more effective. Beyond the basics. There you go.